Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk. It's brought to you by the Detroit Lions on the Prowl and the Belly Up Sports Network. Today, we're going to talk about Dan Campbell's Lion request, a bunch of different things that came out of an interview with Dan Campbell. It was amazingly funny. So we'll go through that, go through a couple new Detroit Lions news and rumors. But first, before we do all that, I got to bring in my main man, the man of steel himself, Curt Steele.
What up, dog? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. You know what you got to do, baby. Join the family. Subscribe to the channel. We don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We have family. And it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Now, let's bring in the third member of the team. Who?
Mike Jones. Who? Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, man?
Let's get this thing started.
Right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to buy the kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep.
Welcome back to the show, people. We're going to talk about this Dan Campbell presser. I thought it was amazingly interesting. Curt, what do you got on this Dan Campbell, not press conference, but it was a podcast?
It was freaking hilarious, man. But it was a breath of fresh air as well. Just the honesty and the transparency of Dan Campbell was great, but it was hilarious. I mean,
it really was.
Yeah,
I mean, I can see Sheila Ford Hemp doing a face palm like he asking for a freaking lion. Like she's like, did you really just say that you wanted a freaking pet lion and walk around and then take a dump when the sex is not doing great? I'm like, bruh. I mean, like, but you know, he was just Dan Campbell. It was just him. It wasn't no faking or fronting or, or I did this or I did that or braggadocious. Well, I made the best call of the century in the freaking defense in the game. But hey, he just was himself. So it was just like for breath of fresh air and just tons of stories. But you can see that he's not afraid to defer to someone in the room who knows better than he does. He's the head coach, but he surrounds himself with smart people who knows things that, he may not know. So he's like, I defer to someone because I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just coming from where we came from the last couple of seasons to see this. I'm 100% on board with MCDC, my man. He doing his thing.
I'm 100% on board too. There was a few things I liked out of this. The one was a taxidermied sheep to be put in Allen Park right when they walk in, and the players are instructed to never look at it.
Yeah,
because they can't concern themselves with sheep. Lions don't concern themselves with sheep.
Oh boy, oh boy. You know what? The thing about being a head coach that I'm glad Dan Campbell embraces that as a head coach, you don't know everything. If you did know everything, there wouldn't be a defensive coordinator. There wouldn't be an offensive coordinator. There wouldn't be position coaches. So when you're a head coach, the main thing is that you can manage personality and that you can motivate men. I mean, that's the top two things of being a coach. You got to be able to corral personalities, and I think Dan Campbell can do that. And I just want to let y'all know, man, his interview, I believe him when he looked like he was serious too. Like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna have a lion and I'm gonna have take walk in and take a squat on that sideline. I'm gonna walk him up and down. Like, I believe him because he was serious and he looked like he was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Like, so, yeah.
It was funny because he was like, I'm gonna put the lion in back of the kicker.
The kicker in practice, yeah.
Some motivation there. But the main thing when he said that he was when you give your arm, for as you were coaching, then they go, no, wait, would you give your arm for a Super Bowl? He was like, yep.
Oh, no.
And I mean, I think he was on that one. I think he actually meant that too.
I think he actually did as well. And then he said he was not like with his coaching hires. He's like, he brought in guys who could like take his job. I mean, like he brought in guys who could take his job. He brought in smart people who were rumored to be head coaching candidates as well. So just to hear that, you know what I'm saying, to hear that he wants to put the best possible people on his staff is just a great thing to see. And, you know, we're talking about the true alphas and stuff like that, but he was like, you know, yeah, he knows what a true alpha can tell you. Hey, I don't know something, and he can defer to someone else. And that's correct. I mean, a true leader can do that, you know, because leaders don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to defer to someone who has that knowledge or who's doing that job, because basically once you go up the leadership chain, you're getting further away from what the people on the ground are doing. So how you did it when you were on the ground is probably not how they're doing it nowadays. So you need to, you know, reach back to those people who have that expertise, you know. So, and like Mike said, he has to manage. So, you know, the big thing about being a head coach is being able to manage your roster and being able to manage a game. So, and counting on those people to help you do that is one thing that is definitely great. And a lot of coaches that try to do it just by themselves don't last in the NFL very long.
That's true. That is very, very true. I think also with this whole thing, this whole press conference, why do I keep saying that? It's the podcast. I think that he was just being him the whole time. He was acting, would you go for a 2-point conversion in this situation, 14 points down? He says, am I down 14-0? How's the offense playing? How's my defense feeling? You know, all these other factors that he brought into it, even though he knew the right answer was probably go for 2. But the thing is, he's like throwing all these other scenarios in there too. Like, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but
because
what about
analytics,
this?
Yeah, analytics, they're talking about analytics. Well, the numbers say this. Well, you can't rely on numbers. That's why I really, you know, I like PFF, but I don't really get wrapped up into it too much, because it doesn't tell you everything. It doesn't tell you intangibles. It doesn't tell you how the player does in this certain situations. It doesn't speak on mentality. It's just strictly numbers. You cannot just go off strictly numbers in a game of football. It's just so many other factors that go into how a player is and what the situation calls for. So I agree with you 100%, Jim. That just was a smart move with him. You have to look at it, because if your offense isn't playing well, I mean, you know what I'm saying, you may have to go. It dictates you go for one. If your defense is stepping up and you know that they can stop the other team and get you the ball back, then you go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, you've made adjustments that you know your defense is playing good. You can get that ball back. You can go down and then go for 2 at the end to win the game, or just go for 2 and try to overtime. But you know, I don't get down on him for saying that at all. Some people, I'm gonna chew you out for that. Dude, you're freaking stupid, because you have to look at the totality of the situation, and that's one of the smartest things I heard him say in that podcast.
Yeah, I'm a guy who I don't really like the numbers per se. I'm more of a, you know, in the game, got a feel for it. And, you know, if you go against a team and they're rated number 1 against the run, you know, and it's 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, but you've been gutting them all game long, the number's going to tell you don't go for it on 4th and 1, don't run, pass, throw a quick slant. So, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. But if you've been gashing them up all game, you run the ball. You know what I'm saying? I just, yeah, man, I like PFF for reference reasons, because, you know, it kind of helps you kind of dictate your game plan. But in game, you got to go with how the feel and how the game is going. You can't really depend on, you know, what the numbers say. So
There's such a thing as the eye test too, and I think that's a little bit different. If you go by the numbers, maybe Spielman wasn't going to be one of the best linebackers of all time, but he ended up being one of the best linebackers of all time. So you know what? Sometimes numbers don't work. But Dan Campbell's the real deal, man. He doesn't mind what he says, or he does not censor himself just because. And he said in that interview, he says, hey, I could go out and do all that and do a scripted interview and things like that. And there's times for that and a place for that. He said, but I don't like doing that because it's not me, you know? And I love his honesty, like Brad Holmes' honesty. I think the whole thing around this new regime is they're very transparent. It's so much different than the Patricia era, and I just love it. I as a fan, and as people comment on Detroit Lions stuff, it's so refreshing to see that. It really is.
Yeah, and he just doesn't care either. I mean, Dan Campbell doesn't care what you think about him. He gives two craps of what you think about him. He's going to be himself. I mean, some of those stories were, I mean, like him saying that, you know, the guy said he lost his appendage ruptured on the plane. And he just kind of you know, I made myself throw up. And, you know, I just kind of went, hey, you know, give me some pain medicine to, you know, so I can play in the game. And, you know, there's no way in hell he's supposed to play in a game with a ruptured appendix. But, I mean, you go get that removed. I mean, but the guy is just like, you know, and then the story about his hair smelling. I was like, what in the hell? Who tells a story about themselves having a funk around themselves so bad that you think it's somebody else? I mean,
that's bad. But for me, he's just really, really funny. Does that make sense? He's just really, really funny. I love his.
It's natural. It's natural, Jim. You just like, it's just funny because you're like, who the hell tells this story about themselves?
And there's some of the things that come out of his mouth that I'm like, is he going to get fined? I mean, you know,
he's going to get fined big time.
Man, there's going to have to be
he's going to get
a swear jar or something.
Yeah, Sheila got an open checkbook for his fines right now.
She's going to have to.
And Jim, part of his salary, I think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, and Jim, to your point, you said you kept calling it a presser, but hell, podcast pressers, all that stuff looks exactly the same now because it's all over Zoom. It all looks the same.
Yeah.
A press conference and a podcast and all that stuff looks the same because we're all doing it virtually. So it's just like, you know, look at us. I mean, it's three guys doing it, you know, two guys in Michigan, but you guys couldn't be, you know, you're on the western part and you're on the southern part, Mike. I'm all the way down in North Carolina. So it just looks the same, you know what I'm saying? But you know, and I think this is how it's going to go from now on, where people aren't going to have to look at, you're cutting down travel costs. You can have someone interview someone. They don't have to be in the building, you know, except for, you know, you have media coverage of like, you know, like the guys that's there at camp or something like that. But you don't have to be in the building anymore. The media has changed so much. And that's one thing I like about having our show, because we can come together and do a quality show and we don't have to be sitting next to each other because you just got a quality product and putting it out. So, and thank you for coming up with this brainchild of Detroit Lions on the Prowl and including myself and Mike, man. This just is something big for us, man. And I love doing it.
It's been so much fun too. I mean, it's like, you know, it's not work when you're having fun, right?
Nope.
Never is. True. All right, so let's go over to our news and rumors now. And our first story comes from Fanside, and it says, Detroit Lions, will Jeff Okudah live up to his draft pick in 2021? So will he live up to the number 3 overall pick that he was in this next year coming up? What do you guys think about that?
He could. It definitely could. And that's I know that's a complete turnaround from how I was responding before about the Okudah pick. But I mean, when you got Aaron Glenn, you know, and then you got the Flintstone, you know what I'm saying? Aubrey Pleasant, you got them teaching these guys, these young guys too, not guys who are stuck in their ways, but young guys who are very talented, still trying to find their way. You get guys with that experience with their hands to get hands on. It's like, man, anything's possible, especially when you got talent like Okudah. You know what I'm saying? Okudah is a technician, you know, and when you get him using more of his instincts instead of his mechanics, it'll make him a lot better.
Okay. What do you think, Curt?
I'm gonna give the Aaron Glenn answer. I don't give a crap what about the overall pick, whatever, living up to that crap. I don't care. As long as he goes out there and plays his hardest and plays well and does what he needs to do on the field too, because it's all hype. All that crap is hype. You know what I'm saying? You know, where you get drafted in, you know, I was drafted number 1 overall. We've seen so many busts be the number 1 draft pick overall in a draft. It's just, I want him to be able to go out on the field and produce. I don't really care. I don't need him to live up to that number 3 overall pick. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, live up to that being a number 3 overall pick. No, go out there and ball. You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and play your hardest. I mean, and the accolades that come if you go out there and ball. Look at Darius Slay. Darius Slay was 2nd round pick. People was crapping on him. He had a really bad rookie season. Trying to play across from Chris Houston, and it was just terrible. And you have so many factors as far as Okudah was concerned. The dude was injured. He knew he should have had surgery, and the regime didn't give a crap about him to have him take care of his health before putting him on the field, just because he was a number 3 overall pick. That's a piss poor management on the coaching staff and the regime that was here before.
Yeah, it was. And there's a lot of things about that. Now, I disagree with you, Curt, on one thing. Just the number overall 3 pick don't matter. It matters to me. You pick somebody 3rd overall, that dude better be starting. And I think it was a mistake to pick him in the first place, but he's our guy now. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but if he would ever live up to a number 3 overall pick, that defense would be a lot better. A whole lot better. Because if you have a shutdown corner on the one side, and you know what, Melifonwu is going to be a very good corner, I believe, as well. We have then Awarie. I mean, we have the makings of a pretty darn good secondary if we get that safety position fixed. But yeah, I think that Okudah, I don't think he's ever going to live up to the 3rd round hype. I don't. But
I mean, but you have so many people who are drafted or undrafted, but they don't have any hype. They don't have any of this, and they become Hall of Famers. That's it. To me, it's just all hype. You know what I'm saying? Because
I get what you're saying there.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Can you ball? Can you not ball? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get drafted. I get what you're saying. You get drafted that high for a reason, because people think you're talented, and based off your potential, you know what I'm saying, in the league, you know what I'm saying? That's why they pick you that high. And I get what you're saying. I just don't buy into a lot of the hype that people are put on the they try to put the pressure on people to live up to where they were drafted, because the draft thing is just hype, because it's just based off potential. I mean, I'll put it like this. And I was a non-commissioned officer in the Army, right? So that's an NCO, right? So basically, I was a sergeant, right? So they promote you not on what you did, on your potential to what you're going to do at the next rank. So based on your leadership and the potential, that's how they promote you, right? Do you always live up to that hype? I know I didn't, man, because I'm a human, right? I know I didn't. Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I did. Sometimes you exceed your expectations, or people expecting you. Sometimes you exceed it. Sometimes you fall short of it. I just don't buy into the hype, because it's all about potential. Because until you step on the field and you actually can, prove yourself, it's just all hype.
My thing is on that though. No, it's a number 3 overall pick. This is different. You can't do that. It's worth so much more than an undrafted free agent.
I understand what you're saying, Curt. Like, I know you're like, look, it's a pick, but at the same time, it's a pick. It's a cornerback pick. It's a pick that you don't pick. Normally, you don't pick in the top 5. You don't do it. That's a position when you can fill in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. When you jump up that high and bypass all of that talent, you're saying he is going to be the for sure thing. There's 100% chance that he's going to succeed. There's not any chance that he's going to fail. That when you pick him that high, you put that on him. That's not him. You know what I'm saying? We put that on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man,
I understand exactly everything y'all saying. I thought I changed my damn mind. Jamarcus Russell, hype.
But still drafted too high. That's why they call him a bust.
Marcus Mariota, hype.
So if we get an undrafted free agent, he comes out and he doesn't make it, they don't call him a bust. Because there's no expectations.
It's all expectation. It's all based on what the perception is and the potential, because you picked him that high. I get what you guys are saying. Don't get me wrong. I understand it. Oh, this guy, he picked this high. He should be one of the best players in the universe, because you picked him that high. But guess what?
Deion Sanders was picked 5th. Patrick Peterson was picked 4th. Jeff Okudah was picked 3rd. Just put that in
feel-
perspective.
I feel what you're saying. I feel
Put the ball
but here-
out.
I'll put it like this. I don't want to put that on him because that puts an unrealistic expectation on someone because you have to be better than Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is a Hall of Famer. I don't expect him to go out there and have the pressure of having a lineup every time saying I have to be better than Deion Sanders. No, I want him to be the best Jeff Okudah that he can be because he got to boss up and ball out. And that's all I want him to do. I don't want him to have to go out there every time he laces him up. I have to be better than this guy. I got to because I was drafted because that's put a unrealistic expectation on yourself. And I
But
don't
he
want
should
him to
already
have
have
to do
that inside of him. Is
no,
what I'm saying.
hell no.
Oh
You
yeah.
can't, I can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I want to expect him to go out there and say, "I got to be better than Deion Sanders." You think he can go out
No,
there?
I'm
and be
saying
better than
he
Deion Sanders?
should
Okay.
feel
No,
like he should feel
no.
inside that he
I'm-
should.
I'm-
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
give you-
Let me finish, man. He should be able to say, "I am worthy of the third overall pick." I should have that inside of me somewhere. You think Penei Sewell thinks he should have been
No.
7th?
I'm not. This is what I'm saying, right? When you do that, when you put an unrealistic expectation on yourself, you set yourself up to fail.
Oh,
Because you
I
put
couldn't disagree more.
You couldn't. You
Man.
putting an unrealistic expectation on yourself. If you go out there and play the best you can play, that's all I'm asking you. Do the best you can do, and where the accolades fall and how you will come later on. I don't want you to go out there and have the mindset because you can go down a rabbit hole real fast, but when you don't live up to your own expectations, you know that people they can be their own hardest critics. And when they don't do what they think they can do, then they fall down a rabbit hole and you see careers bust because look at Ryan Leaf. Look how he was drafted, right? And he came up balling and then he started to fail. And guess what? That dude career shattered just like that.
No,
Right, but
I
I'm
don't
on- but I'm
disagree with you, but should we just trade every first round pick we
I'm
have
not
because it
saying
don't
that.
matter?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, right? He had a bad rookie season. We know he did,
Yep.
right? And how many first round picks have a bad rookie season? A ton of them, right? Because
Especially at
guess what?
corner.
The most players that make up your roster are guess what? Aren't even in the first round. They're not.
Right.
The guys in the middle are usually the best, some of the best guys on your team. They make up your roster. I'm not saying it doesn't matter where he's drafted. I'm not saying I don't want him to put that unrealistic expectation on himself where he has to be a Hall of Famer in his second season in the NFL.
Right.
And
You know
all
what?
I'm
I'm
saying is
gonna say this real quick. This is real quick. I know it's a different sport, but in 2006, okay, they called me to fight Riddick Bowe on his comeback trail. Okay, he was gonna try to make a comeback. Okay, now and any fighter who I was just starting out, I think I had like 4 fights. Okay, and they like, oh, you're basically a tune-up fight. No, I was thinking I'm about to knock Riddick out.
I got what you saying.
I'm gonna knock Riddick out. Even though I only got 3 or 4 fights, I'm gonna knock Riddick out. Now, from outside perspective, that's not realistic. But that's the mentality that I had. I'm going to knock Riddick Bowe out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's that's kind of the mentality that we want Jeff Okudah to have. You are the best cornerback ever. You know what I'm saying? Like ever. You number 3. You have to have that mind state as a top 5 pick that I'm the best out there at my position in the whole league. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that we're trying to like say.
Got what you're saying? I got what you're saying.
We better move
But-
on before
but-
this is the whole show.
But what happens when and Aaron Glenn said it. Now this is what his words were. I don't want him to live up to the hype of being a number 3 overall pick. I want him to go out there and play the best he can play. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Amon-Ra St. Brown said, "I'm here to take somebody's job.
Yep.
I'm here to do something. Jeff Okudah should be here to do something. Jeff Okudah should be here to be that number 3 pick."
I'm not saying he's not here to do something. I'm not saying that at all, Jim. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I want him to go out there and play the best he can play, and I don't want him to, because sometimes when you put unrealistic expectation on yourself and you fail, you can shatter your whole mentality doing
And
that.
I still,
and
if you're the number 3 overall pick, it can't be unrealistic to be the best on your team. at that
I'm
position.
not saying that. I'm not saying that. He can ball out and be the best guy. You know what I'm saying? But his play on the field would dictate that. Go out there and play your hardest. Play ball out. I'm not saying I don't want him to, to try his hardest and go out there and play, but I don't want him to wreck himself mentally trying to do that. The mental aspect of the game and this newer generation is way different than how we grew up, and way different how our mentality is about how it is to be the best.
True.
All right, let's move on before this is the entire show. I did not expect that, but it was a good discussion. I like having those.
Oh yeah.
Detroit Lions 3 mock trade scenarios for Tyrell Crosby. You talked about Tyrell Crosby getting traded yesterday. I don't know if you guys have those trades up or not.
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Okay, go ahead, Curt.
Okay, so let's kind of look at these trade scenarios. Trade number 1 on the board is by FanSided. You trade Tyrell Crosby for wide receiver Colin Johnson from the Jacksonville Jaguars and a 5th round pick in 2022.
That's a lot, actually, for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like it.
It's a wide receiver. Could we use it? Definitely could use a wide receiver. I'm not saying that at all. Yeah. Because of the fact but that is a lot to ask for from Jacksonville. I think I think it would be a 1-to-1 ratio, but to add a draft pick in there, you're asking a little bit.
So
all right.
Trade 2 says the Lions get wide receiver James Washington and outside linebacker Ulysses Gilbert III. What do you think about this one, Curt? 2 players for one. What?
2 players. And James Washington is pretty good. I like James Washington. That's a man. That means FanSided. They're swinging for the fences. That's wow.
They're going crazy with this.
I like James Washington. I would trade him. I would trade him straight up 1-for-1 for James Washington for Tyrell Crosby. I don't know about getting two guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think, Mike?
Man.
I'm doing it. Forget my whole way to the trade deadline. I'm doing it now.
But do you think it's realistic? That's more my question.
No.
No.
It's not. It's not at all. FanSided tripping. So
they on trip status.
They're gonna trip a little more. Just wait.
Oh my goodness! Here's one. Now, here's one. You get wide receiver Denzel Mims to the Lions, and you give up Crosby and a 2022 3rd round pick. Hell no! I'm not giving them a 3rd round pick for. That's a straight up 1-for-1 trade. I like Denzel Mims. Because he has versatility. Because in the crunch in a pinch you can flip him around and play corner if you don't, because he's played both sides of the ball in college. But to go over there and say I'm gonna give you a Crosby and a 3rd round pick for this guy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I didn't like that.
Man, FanSided was.
I'm not giving up my 3rd. Not for that.
They were definitely drinking some brown liquor when they was making these trades.
I'm about to break your back.
They was drinking some Jägermeisters or something. They were boiling up. I don't know what the heck they were thinking about. I think that's a lot on either side for all of those trades.
I do too. I think they're really unrealistic to me.
I don't think that we would either. He has that trade value for that much compensation, or for Mims. I don't think Mims deserves that much compensation going back to the Jets for Tyrell. Saying have a Tyrell Crosby and a pick and a 3rd round pick.
Especially 3rd. That's too much.
If they would have said like a 5th, maybe even a 6th round pick. Okay, we give you a 6th round pick and we give you Tyrell Crosby. We can have a conversation, but those things are unrealistic at all.
Very. So the Lions announced the signings of Alijah Holder and Charlie, whatever the heck his last name is, tight end, but they also signed nickelback Alex Brown too. So that came out yesterday as well. Now Brown is only 24 years old, and he's kind of, where is he from? Your neck of the woods, I think. South Carolina State, pretty close.
Okay.
Kind of close.
Bulldogs. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
Guy
close.
finished his career with 90 tackles, 26 pass defended, 7 interceptions, and 1 sack in 31 games played.
He's an undrafted free agent,
No, because he spent time with the 49ers, Eagles,
49ers.
Jets in the past 2 seasons with the Chiefs. So he's been in the league.
I can't lie. I don't know much about Alex Brown. It just tells you that they're committed to bringing in people to compete in that secondary room. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go in there and you're going to have to go in there and get it to get a spot on this roster. So that just breeds more competition for the guys in the secondary room. Because, not only are you looking at him as a member of the secondary, but then you look at special teams and, how guys make the roster nowadays is, you have to stand out someplace. So, he could be putting himself on the roster as a special teamer or, some guy who, a depth guy, he has got to go out there and ball out. So Campbell and Holmes are just breeding more competition with the signing of Alex Brown.
Yeah, it makes sense. The Lions said they were prepared to take a wide receiver if Penei Sewell was off the board for them at pick 7. He said it, so it's got to be the truth. I don't doubt Dan Campbell, but I really believe in that situation they would have traded back. They would have took a trade back offer.
Yeah,
I think so as well. But you know what I'm saying? If it depends on who was available, I would say that. If Jamar Chase was there, I think they would have took Jamar Chase. If Sewell went and Chase was there, they would have took Chase. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. If Sewell was there and Chase was there, you're saying they would take Chase rather than Sewell?
No, I'm saying if Sewell was gone and Chase was there, they would have took Chase.
Okay,
that
makes
that 100%.
sense.
Yeah, I believe that because of the fact you just got to look at the players, one for one. You know what I'm saying? There was not saying that I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but there was a step down as far as some of that talent level as far as coming into that first round of the draft. So if Jamar Chase was there and Sewell was gone, I believe they would have took Chase, definitely.
What do you think, Mike? Do you think they were going to take a wide receiver if Sewell was off the board?
I hope not. I mean, if Jamar Chase was there and Sewell was gone, I would have wanted to trade back, and they had plenty of right tackles in that first round they could have got, like Tevin Jenkins, and if they had their mind set on a right tackle, then that would have been the move, or Rashawn Slater or somebody they could have traded back for, but. Oh man, a receiver that early, man.
Now I'll say this, Mike. Dan Campbell was transparent. He said we were ready to take the best player available. He said sometimes teams get stuck on drafting for need, but sometimes you have to take the best player available at that position.
True.
And we all realize that at that juncture, because he was the first one off the board, he was the best wide receiver in this draft. Right. But I like the fact that what Dan Campbell said, and I really believe him. He said that Penei Sewell was the best player in the draft, as far as the highest graded player in the draft, hands down, no his position. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment that he was probably the best overall talent in the draft. He just doesn't play quarterback. I mean, those guys are going to be at a premium because that's the prima donna position in the NFL. So you're going to take those guys first, because those are guys that have the ball in their hand every play.
Yep, that's the truth. All right, let's go over to the Wall of Fame. But first, before we do that, I have to say this, that I made an error yesterday and I didn't have the right one graphic up there, and that was my fault. We omitted Jimbo G yesterday, and he rocks with us all the time. Shout out to you, Jimbo G. I'm so sorry about that. That was my fault. It wasn't Curt's fault. That's my fault. I just wanted to put it on me because he had noticed that he was not mentioned in the bronze membership as on the Wall of Fame. So I corrected that today. So here we go with the Wall of Fame. Who you got on there today, Curt?
All right, bronze members. We got Jimbo G.
That's it.
All right. All right. Detroit Drew, Midwest Lion, Bubble Bowl, John Kapler, Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike, Sub Z Trap City Boys Entertainment, our Alan Bogarakis, Crystal Wiley, Steve Castillo, Batman under three on three, the Latino Lion, John Martin, and Jimbo G once again. So I don't make sure I covered it. I'll make sure I get you
We're
in
doing
there,
it
brother.
twice.
All right, do it twice. I had to do it twice, 3 times, make sure, because you do it 3 times, you know what I'm saying? People ain't gonna forget. All right, then we got silver members. We got Nomis J, Cap Ice Cold, John Porters, and Gold Lions. All right, then we have our gold members. We have Bob Corso, North End Ken, Just in the D, Larry McQuiston, Randall Flag 606, my man, he gives some crazy takes. Miles Gibbs, Randy Prince, the Gridiron Blitz, and you know who it is, the Doctor. Dr. Detroit is always in. All right, to become a member of the Wall of Fame, click the Join Now button in the description to get the information on how to become a member of the Wall of Fame and a member of the Detroit Lions on the Prowl channel.
Okay, now we're going to go to the Detroit Lions on the Prowl trivia. And the question today is for you guys. This should be pretty easy, but we'll see how it goes. From the 2021 draft, which player has not been assigned a jersey number yet?
That's easy. Penei Sewell, he ain't been in the
Yeah, that was a fairly easy one.
That's easy. That's easy. He ain't been in the building because 58 is already taken.
Yeah, but he'll get another number when he comes in probably, or beat somebody up who has 58. It's one of the two.
I mean,
that's a big man.
I mean, he had to pay big money to Jamie Collins to get. Now, if he takes that, I think Collins will go back to 91 like he wore out there in New England for a while. But
I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, hell, he could wear number 5. I mean, he could wear all kind of numbers because there's so many numbers open right now. It is what it is.
So we did have 2 winners yesterday. Of course, the answer, was Penei Sewell. But the winners are Michael Stanley from Facebook, and I love this name. And Twitter, it says "We're competent" with a question mark.
Absolutely genius name.
I love that.
Absolutely genius name.
What? We're competent? I've heard so many Lions fans say that lately. That was hilarious.
Absolutely genius name. I'm loving that. All right, let's time to get into the comments on what you had to say on yesterday's show. It's time for the comment cards. People, Jim, who you got first?
I got the artist formerly known as PC Payload. At the end of the day, it's a game, not the military. It's supposed to be fun. These young guys all seem to be legitimately happy with the coaches and allowed to be themselves. Complete 180. I love it.
Okay, I'll say with the military. We're people too. We're allowed to have fun. We did fun stuff too. This when the rubber met the road, you had to be serious. But we did competition stuff too. I mean, I'll put it like this. I had my soldiers, right? And this is before we deployed back in 2010. We were supposed to lift ourselves up wearing that the body armor vest, with all the plates and stuff in it. So you had to pass a test so you can lift yourself out of a vehicle. So I had a competition. I did a competition every morning after we did physical training. We had to do pull-ups with the vest on. I said anybody who could beat me could, they had to do no more, and we didn't have that happen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Trenell Harris says the Lions are not the same team. Well, I'm saying the same thing. They are not doing the same things over and over again. The definition of insanity. But everyone those who are in the building are expecting the same old Lions results. I say it's because fans have same old thinking. Well, we've been butthurt a lot, but Detroit Lions fans. I mean, to be honest, I gotta be 100. We've been butthurt. We didn't put our hearts out there on the line. Oh my goodness, we're gonna be great this year. And we get kicked in the butt too many times. But I feel what you're saying. Hopefully, this can be something different, and we can get rid of the old thinking of being the same old Lions fans.
I don't think it's the same old Lions thing.
Yeah, I don't
Fans
think it is.
thinking whatsoever. I think what it is that we are. I know, like Curt said, we're butthurt, but we're wary of this whole thing. But we also know that it's year one of a rebuild.
You got to pump your brakes, baby. You got to pump your brakes a little bit. Pump your brakes on the expectations just a little bit.
So we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year, huh? No, I don't think so.
No, but we trending.
You trending?
Geo Raiders. I already said Geo Raiders. I like what I'm hearing in regards to the new direction. However, how does it comparable to any other previous regime? How does it compare to Caldwell or Schwartz? As the Lions made the playoffs during those times, didn't win any, but more successful than the last. Just the feeling of the players, the excitement, the coaching staff is completely different. When you got player coaches, it's completely different. That feel that, because I know from my point of view, man, you can get on the field and you can show them exactly what you mean. I'm talking about you can go full speed and you can show exactly what you mean. And that goes way further than you explaining what you mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think, and just the feeling overall, the new owner who actually cares about the team, it just feels different, man. Different.
Yeah. To carry on, to piggyback on what you said, it's just not with those regimes, with the Caldwell and the Schwartz regime. You pretty much have the team was ran the exact same way they had been ran for years and years, and the leadership style was the same, the ownership style was the same. The way the teams were structured was the same, and we have a different structure now as far as front office, things of that nature. Guys that are coming in to be special advisors, and it's just the way that the Sheila Forham has structured the top to bottom of this team is different. So that's the different type of thinking. So, and that's I get what you're saying, but it's different because it's structured different. That's what the big difference is for me. I don't know about you guys.
That's what I feel too. I feel that like with Schwartzers was one man in charge. With Caldwell, it seemed to be one man in charge. But with this regime, it seems like Dan Campbell has a former head coach and another guy that's an up-and-coming guy. We've got Dom Capers. We have other people in the front office, John Dorsey. There's a checks and balances system. It's not run by the one guy like Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn. It's run by a committee. We got Chris Spielman and all that. I think it's a really good setup. I've never seen it before, so I'm very happy with it, and I want to see what happens. But that's the major difference to me. Yeah. Big West Kivinen. I would trade Crosby now if we could get a safety or a linebacker that could start. I don't know about the linebackers so much. I think we have our linebackers pretty much set, unless you're talking about some superstar linebacker or something. Yeah, but safety is a huge need. I think safety is the biggest need here.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question mark on the defense right now. Let's say.
Yep, I agree 100%. All right, Doug Prince 72. That's my favorite year because that's the year I was born. All right, didn't hear Chris Spielman was out with the rookies. Listening to him call games the last couple of years, I was begging the Lions to invite him in to coach up the linebackers. You can hear he still has some fire still. OMG, can you imagine? Okay, the best linebacking core that we had was during Chris's time here. His replacement played the mic for 6 years after Chris left. Seriously, love Chris and they're helping out. And then you put those other guys. You might cut me out. The inside linebacker coach.
Don't know it either.
I can't.
Then you have I know we have Calvin Shepard out there with the outside linebackers.
Yeah, Calvin Shepard's out.
And then
we talking about DeLeon
coming over from the Bears. Yeah, we have a good coaching staff, and then just adding the experience of having Chris Spielman in the building is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So once, and I'll say this, once we get who we want instead of just what we want, that linebacker core is going to be great.
Yeah, and I love that he's out there actually playing with the players. I mean, they were talking about Aaron Glenn was on one side and Spielman was on the other, and in the middle was the two rookies, Barnes and the other kid that they brought in. I was just like, holy cow, man. I would be nervous playing with those two people.
Yeah, because you can imagine lining up two guys that are, freaking legends in the league. I mean, like these guys are all pro players. These guys, they play at an all pro level. So, I mean, I feel you, Jim. That would be intimidating.
If Spielman can make two more Stephen Boyds, hey, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Fan Man says, nice show, fellas. I see it at 5 wins. Way too early. I'm really happy with this entire new group of coaches and staff. We got 7 all across the board. But like you said, it's too early. It's way too early. But yeah, we feel you, man.
That's me under a fake name. I'm just kidding. As it says basically the same thing I've been saying, 5 to 7 wins. Right. I love the direction. The whole thing was basically what I've been saying for the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's one of those things. You just got to temper your expectations. I had them between 5 and 7 wins before the schedule came out, and I'm sticking around at 7 wins. I think we can win 7 games and put ourselves in a position where we're not getting, the lowest, draft pick. Excuse me, my son has picked up his tablet and he's looking me directly in my face.
Okay.
Excuse me. But yeah, that's what I say. This, make sure we have tempered expectations.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Question of the day today is, what do you think of Coach Dan Campbell? I know that's a crazy question, but we've seen all these press conferences. The most entertaining thing I've seen from the Lions in years is Dan Campbell. And I think that, I just want to get a feel for what everybody feels about him. Do you think this is kind of a, clown show in a way, or do you think that this guy is literally wanting to tear people's kneecaps off and bite kneecaps and do all that type of thing? But yeah, let me know. But secondarily, second question, what do you think about this Jeff Okudah debate? So put that down in the comments below too. Do you think he should be? I'm not going to even say anything. You heard the debate. I think that just put it in the comments below what you think about that. All right, because I didn't want to get the takes wrong. That's basically what I was trying to not do there. So now it's time for my favorite part of the show, the dessert with Curt.
All right, so today is going to be a quick, short one. I just want to thank everyone for their love and support from yesterday's show. I covered a tough topic yesterday in doing a dessert, but for the love and support I got from the family here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, I just want to say thank you. It's amazing to see the support that our family gives to me. And I thank you, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And because that's a tough situation to deal with. I've dealt with it before in my life, but when it rears its ugly head, and to see the support and love I have from you guys, I really appreciate that.
Okay, I'm going to start final thoughts then. And today, my final thought for the Detroit Lions is, hell yeah. I love my coach. I love the direction. I love where this team is headed. And my one thing I want to see is that Green Bay game, and to see what Dan Campbell's reaction to that game is going to be. I can't wait until the Monday Night Football when we generally get screwed and see what Dan Campbell does to an official that night. And will we have a coach after the Green Bay Monday Night Football game? All right. But that's it for me today. Oh, one more thing. Free for All Friday coming up. We have the Gold members meeting tomorrow at 3. So if you are a Gold member, we have a Zoom call where we all kind of just chat and talk about Lions stuff. So it's a lot of fun. We're going to do that. You never know who's going to show up on Free for All Friday, so we have that coming up as well. But we really appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm going to shut up now and let someone else talk.
All right, man. My final thoughts is, you know what? Me being a first-year offensive line coach, seeing how this coaching staff of former players are getting along with the players and seeing how they're competitive, seeing the fun family nature is really helping shape me and my agenda for the season, and it's really helping me mold my practice. You know, I originally had some things written down, and I just like that don't sound fun. You know, that sound like 1990s, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what, this is a different day and age, and the Lions coaching staff has showed me, you know, these player coaches, man, it's all about making these players feel welcome and playing accepted and being accepted. And when you make your players feel accepted, they give you the effort without even asking. They just, you know, they just play hard and they play their hearts out just because you have that family environment, and people, you know, people, hey, I'll die for my family. So it's just good that they have that coaching staff, and I've been able to learn from what they've done, and I really appreciate it, Lion. Thanks.
All right. So my final thoughts for the day are: it's just refreshing to see, and I don't think it's a clown show at all. I just think Dan Campbell's a genuine person, and you know, he's smarter than what people think he is. You know, just because he is who he is, and can be fun loving and be, you know, he doesn't have to take himself super seriously. Doesn't mean he's not a smart guy, because smart people put other people around him that are smarter than they are. That's what a smart person is. A good leader does that as well. So I generally believe 100% that Dan Campbell is going to be a successful head coach in the NFL with the Detroit Lions. Hands down, I believe that he will be, because he's going about it the right way. And it's just refreshing to see honesty and transparency in your head coach. You know, I don't want to get into the last clown that we had in our, you know, coaching our team, but it is what it is. All right, so that's my thoughts for today. I love doing this show. I love rocking with you all, and you know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl. They're home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And join the family. Subscribe to the channel. We don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We have family. And it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. And the love I felt yesterday and today is definitely in my heart. And if you're going to get some Lions gear, why not go to fanatics.com? The link in the description below. You know your boy Curt always cops his fresh gear from Fanatics. And you definitely can earn with their My Fan Cash Rewards program. You can earn free Lions gear right there on that website. And a portion of the sales on that link go to help us grow the content on this channel. You can go over to bellyupsports.com and check out your boys. They have a new website. I know I've been talking about a lot, but it is really nice over there. They really did some great maintenance on that site. More stuff is better interactive, so you can get the Detroit Lions on the Prowl over there, as well as a ton of podcasts, plus some great articles written by some talented writers over there on bellyupsports.com. Hey, it's Tuesday, so you know, whether it's two-piece Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, enjoy your lunch. Go ahead, sip your soda, and get back to work and grind it out. Work hard, play hard, and whatever you do, you got to bounce up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, Mike and Jim, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.